Jon Lander. I'm the executive producer of EVE Online.
Now, what's new being introduced here at EVE Fanfest?
Wow, well, where to begin? A lot of things. So we're announcing the latest expansion to Dust 514. What's particularly sort of important for me is the new EVE expansion, Odyssey, which is coming out on June 4th, which will be our 19th free expansion. And kind of going along with that is we're celebrating that EVE is 10 years old this year. So on May 6th of this year, the game will have been running live for 10 years, which is a really big sort of milestone for us. So we're talking about all of those things, birthdays and expansions, and really just celebrating the players who've come to join us and have our birthday party.
Can you talk a little bit more about the Odyssey?
Yeah, so Odyssey is shaping up to be a really, really good expansion. I'm really looking forward to it. It's very much about, I mean, one of the things that always gets people when they hear about EVE and they start coming sort of in to play the game is this promise of there are mysteries out there. There is this huge expanse of space and you get to go and explore it. And really what's happened over the last 10 years is that everybody's explored all the space. And so, you know, you can kind of Google, you know, I want to do this, and something will tell you exactly how to do it. So some of that mystery has disappeared. So what we're doing with Odyssey is we're really sort of kicking that back in. We're mixing up a lot of the content that we already have. We're changing the resource distribution across the landscape. We're giving people some new exploration content and new ways to find these new exploration sites and get some really cool things out of it. And we're also basically taking a look at all of the content that we've created over the last 10 years, all of the systems that we've put in through these 18 expansions. And one of the problems we've found with it is that a lot of people just don't know that that content is there. I mean, this is one of the great problems of having a 10-year-old game is there's a lot to it, and it's hard to continually write the instruction book of how to do it, then it becomes very big and unwieldy. So what we're doing is we're actually revamping a number of systems so that when you undock in space and you kind of ask that question of yourself, what do I want to do now? You'll have all of the options presented to you. You know, it'll be very easy for you to find something to do. It may not be very easy to actually do it, but at least you'll know that there are things out there, that space is very, very busy and our universe has an awful lot going on in it. And Odyssey will really tie all of those things together and allow you to find them and explore them and get that sense of wonder back.
Is that also because that it'll make newcomers adopt the game faster to have this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things which we've always kind of been accused of is the suicidal learning cliff of EVE. And I think we've learned an awful lot from shipping Dust 514 in terms of how do you make a game which is very complex, a game which is very hardcore, how do you make it much easier for people to actually get into? You know, I don't want people to get frustrated with my game when they could have an amazing experience because they can't get through that first 10 minutes, that first hour, that first day, that first week. So we're constantly looking at how do we actually improve that experience for our brand new players, but also how do we keep things relevant for our veteran players as well.
And also with Odyssey, since you're introducing another territory, is that more so that you can basically start a war? Because in my mind, it's like, okay, a new territory is there, the corporations will probably try to get there first. And whoever gets there first, or whoever gets there second, or battle whoever gets there first. Are you trying to like throw a rock into the pond?
Definitely trying to throw a rock in the pond. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Most games they try and balance their game. I actually hate balance in games because it makes them boring. When things get into balance, they end up in sort of this status quo, and then everything is just the same. So yeah, I mean, certainly when people collide, you know, when you get people all looking after, you know, trying to exploit a scarce resource, you will either get conflict or you will get cooperation. And I think one of the things about EVE is most people hear about all the conflict. Most people hear about all the espionage and, you know, people being tricked and people being robbed, and but there's actually a hell of a lot more cooperation goes on than actually conflict. And I think one of the things that you'll see is that various people will band together in order to protect these resources against, you know, and you get these great sort of human interactions which suddenly become incredibly meaningful for the people involved. And yeah, that's what makes it exciting, because honestly I don't know if it'll be conflict or cooperation. It'll probably be a mix.
Now, with Odyssey, are there going to be any new ships or new resources, new balancing resources or new resource requirements?
So yeah, so we're actually looking at changing a lot of the Tech 2 mineral requirements. It's kind of the most fought over resource in EVE, and right now there's a bottleneck. There's a mineral called technetium, which is only found in one part of the universe, and if you own that part of the universe, you own the bottleneck. So and I think as a result, everybody is now sort of in this kind of status quo of right, so everything just stays as it is, and there's nothing really fun going on. So we're going to change that. We're going to mix it around so that the bottlenecks are more widely distributed, and also so basically people will then go and try and own those, and that will generate, you know, activity in the game, and it will also just make things, I wouldn't say fairer, but it will be probably a little bit easier to understand why, you know, why people are fighting over certain things. But yeah, we're adding new ships in. So we've got a number of new Navy battle cruisers which are going in. So we've got 4 of those. We've got a lot of new exploration content which is going to go in, which people will be looking for. We're changing how we're, you know, doing things like, you know, certain types of mining or whatever. There's a whole lot of changes in there which are absolutely around getting a stone and throwing it in the pond and seeing where the ripples go, without making it kind of like, you know, a tidal wave which just obliterates everything. We don't want that, but we just want to mix it up a little bit.